Hello, Sagittarius. This is going to be your January through February guidance for 2020. For those of you who are new, welcome. And if you are returning, so nice to have you sitting with me again. I hope everyone is starting off with a really lovely 2020. And I think this is going to be a really nice year for a lot of people. Especially if you have been struggling or, looking for your purpose and you just can't quite get there. So Sagittarius, let's see what the very beginning of your year is looking like. I want to put this up here. So Sagittarius, seeing some things right off the bat for you. I would really think about how you are approaching the way you think about yourself. And, excuse me, guys. To bring some crystals over your reading, and I apologize that I didn't do it right from the beginning. I think that for this year, or at least the beginning of it, you really want to think about trusting your own opinions. And this can be about money, it can be about your relationships. I think a lot of times people focus on trusting others, but if you have a good relationship with yourself and your own intuition, that becomes less of a concern because you believe that the decisions you make will be good, they will be solid, and if anything does come up and you're not liking it, you'll be able to recognize it right away and go from there. So I think for some of you, you are really saying how, it's not about, I think it's the wrong question. You're saying, well, this didn't go well, that didn't go well, maybe money, business, school, relationships, and you may even be saying, I took these risks and they didn't work out, so that's really about my inability to achieve, and it's also about other people not doing right by me. So I think what you really want to think about is developing those habits in yourself where when something does go wrong, you're not thinking, I didn't do the right thing, or I'm not good enough, and the people that I was surrounded by were all terrible. Really want you to think about that, Sagittarius. You have the Wheel of Fortune here, and I think that it's there because if you can reframe your way of thinking, you really have the potential to turn your life around in a way that you never imagined possible. I wouldn't rely so much on the feedback that you get from other people, because it's good to check in with people and make sure you're not doing something that's rooted in so much emotion that it will drive you to the deep end. You'll pick a major you don't want for school. You're blinded by love. You wind up with this person and, you find out that they have a garden full of very deep holes. But I think really what it's about is learning to come away from leaning on other people's input so much, and in the end, understanding that you know the situation better than anyone. Also, I would learn to say no to certain people and get in the habit of knowing that saying no doesn't make you a bad person. If it makes you feel better, practice a way to say no that feels good for you. But you have to understand that some people will come back, and they may push that first no, so you may have to have a backup in your pocket so that when they push a little bit harder, you're able to just really hold to your no. If you can pull a little more of your resources in for yourself, you have the Magician here. This is where you wind up. All of these things wind up opening up for you. That's really, really beautiful. There's a lot of you just being in your head. Just being in your head, being pulled in a lot of directions. You really want to decide at some point in the next few months where you would like to see things go. So set one goal, make it small, and then set a few bigger ones. This will help you trust in yourself more as the days or weeks or months are going by and you see that you are able to achieve things. So if you had a New Year's resolution and it was to lose weight, and maybe you are sitting there and you're going, oh my God, or break up with somebody, or whatever the case may be, set something much smaller. Like, I'll go for a walk once a week or even once a month. Take a really small thing that you are capable of doing and then build your trust of yourself from there. In terms of a goal, tell yourself you'll lose 1 pound instead of 30. Tell yourself, you will make a phone call to the person who you've had a crush on or been thinking about, instead of thinking about this really big plan and then feeling like it's failed. There you go, the Lover's coming up as we talk about that. You have to understand as well, Sagittarius, that emotional strength in terms of relationships, because this is what's coming up here, is not something, it's a habit that's learned. It doesn't come overnight. And it doesn't look like this perfect sort of journey. Emotions are a really big thing. Sometimes they can be unstable. Sometimes, you feel like you've made a little bit of headway. You're thinking, God, I'm doing great. And then you fall back a little bit and you beat yourself up. You have to understand that mastering your emotions is a process. You have to give yourself credit for those little victories. Just a lot of stuff in your head. And then on the outside, so maybe you're in your head all day, you're thinking, oh my God, I'm failing this way, or I'm not doing well this way. Or even on a lesser level, if you're just not achieving the things that you would like in the amount of time, or things like that, then you get down, on the ground in front of people, and you're really trying to juggle this happy, put-together face, when inside it's really, really bothering you. I think, the message that I'm seeing here is you want to worry a little bit less about that. Worry less about how these people are viewing you. You have to understand, if you were on the other side of that and someone came to you and they said, I'm having a problem, I didn't make the goal in this amount of time, you wouldn't really beat somebody else up the way you are doing to yourself. So I think that's really what we want to do for you, Sagittarius, going forward. In January, really get that relationship with yourself going. Really set those small goals so that you can begin that relationship of trusting yourself. And in terms of love, if you're having a difficult time, you really want to understand that that will be a journey for you to get through those feelings. And if things are going well, but there are some things in the relationship that you're struggling with, you really want to understand that if you lose your temper, or if you don't make that process in a perfect way, whatever your perfect way looks like, it's fine. You really don't want to go in there and rip up all the progress you've made by tearing yourself up over it. So a kinder, gentler relationship with yourself, Sagittarius, that's what we're looking at in January through February for you. As always, take care.